Family, in our last couple of discussions, we've been talking about the idea of gratitude and just how much we have to be thankful for, and how often and how much of a part of our lives we should make expressing gratitude to God in particular a part of who we are and what we do. When we think about having gratitude, doesn't mean that there aren't things in our lives that we wish were different. Doesn't mean that we maybe are not in need of other blessings. And in fact, it can very well mean that we still have some problems that are plaguing us. We have to recognize that there's so much that God has given to us. He owes us nothing, which means we should thank Him for everything. We have to also recognize that He sustains us through the difficulties of life and the circumstances that we find to be undesirable. We must also keep in mind that through those things, God is instructing us, He's teaching us, and there are life lessons, sometimes through painful experiences, but certainly there are life lessons. As we talk about gratitude and look at that from the standpoint of how much we should be thankful for and expressing joy in particular, we have to come across individuals from time to time who don't always feel that they have a reason to have joy. In fact, if you ask somebody these days how you're doing and tell them they should be thankful, you'll get an earful from a lot of people because something is hurting, something's not working, someone is bothering them, or any other way that they can express their life's frustrations. Every one of us wants to say that things are well in our lives. All of us want joy and want to experience gratitude for the things that bring us joy. But few people seem to know how to find it and how to experience it. One of the benefits of being holy is the joy we get to experience as partakers in God's holiness. Do you know that joy results from a proper relationship with the Lord? When you know Him for yourself, you'll experience an unmatched joy. I'm not talking about just going to church. I'm not talking about a faith that your mother or your father have. I'm talking about knowing the Lord for yourself. Now, many people want joy on their terms, and so they don't have gratitude because it's not on the terms that they have set out for. They want the circumstances of their lives to be idealistic. They want joy because they want their finances to be right. Joy because their health is right. Joy because their relationships are right. Joy because careers are right. Joy because their social circles are right. And anything else that constitutes their sense of reality, that's how they define joy. And they will not have gratitude. They will not be thankful or appreciative until the circumstances of their lives are idealistic, or at least the way they say they want them to be. The problem with that is that circumstances are never idealistic. They're never the way you want them to be. As soon as you get stuff the way you want it, guess what? It'll be something else that you want to be different. Then you discover the things that you thought you want, the things that you thought would bring you joy, aren't always what you expected them to be. But true joy is rooted in a relationship we have with God, despite the circumstances and despite what's going on in our existence. Let me ask you to just take note of several scriptures, and I want you to just read these and see how to experience joy. And I want to say at the onset that joy again is found in our relationship with God. You can improve your health, but that does not mean you're going to have joy. You can get more money. That does not mean you're going to have joy. You can find the fountain of youth and take 20, 30 years off your life. That does not mean you're going to have joy. People can be kind to you, and friendly folks can surround you with all of their love and attention. That does not mean that you'll experience joy. Real joy is found in a relationship with God. And the gratitude comes from Him allowing us, who are certainly in and of ourselves unworthy, to be in a relationship with Him. So let me ask you to just take note of some scriptures so that it will give you a means by which to test what I'm saying. The first is Psalms 32 and verse 11. The Bible tells us to be glad in the Lord. Didn't I say that having a relationship with God is the means by which we get our joy? Be glad in the Lord. Psalms 32:11. Psalms 37 verse 4 says, delight thyself also in the Lord. Psalms 100 verse 2, serve the Lord with gladness. Now I know there are those who say, Brother Gibbs, that's all Old Testament. Well, what about Philippians 3 and 1 that says, rejoice in the Lord? Or Philippians 4 and 4, rejoice in the Lord always. What about 1 Thessalonians 5:16 that says we can rejoice evermore? I'll give you these scriptures again because I want you to see them. I don't want you to miss this, and I don't want you to think this is Conleyology, this is Bibleology. Psalms 32 verse 11. Psalms 37 verse 4. Psalms 100 verse 2. Philippians 3 verse 1. Philippians 4 verse 4. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 16. In each of these instances and others that can be cited, the ability to have joy is dependent completely on the relationship that we have with the Lord. There are too many people and too many instances where people are waiting on a person to make something happen in their lives to give them joy. They're looking for broken relationships to fix them. They're looking for money to pay their bills. They're looking for idealistic circumstances. If I can just get the perfect job, if I could just get beyond this health struggle, if I could just get my enemies to leave me alone. Those are idealistic circumstances that we hope will be favorable for everyone. But do not be deceived. You cannot experience the joy of God without joy from God. And you cannot have joy from God and get the joy of God by ignoring God. And what a sad reality it is that many do not seek God until they are seeking Him through tears. They wait for the pain, the problems, the perils of life, the problem people of life, to start praying, to start being faithful, to start looking for God. It's better to know Him before those things happen and to find joy in Him, because there'll always be a circumstance out of your control, a problem that will plague you, something in life that will frustrate you. But in the Lord, there's protection. In the Lord, there is provision. In the Lord, there is providence. And so while you are looking at the circumstances of your life, always trust in the God who's bigger than your circumstance. And put your faith not in your health, not in your finances, not in your social circle, not in your family, not in your career. But always remember to have joy in the Lord. This has been another installment of A Few Minutes with the Minister.